Hello, Nerd Report. This is Lewis once again here. And this time we're going to be ranking the Halloween movies in anticipation for the release of tomorrow's trailer. Blumhouse is going to be releasing a trailer for their new Halloween film that's going to feature Jamie Lee Curtis, the return of Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's actually a direct sequel to part 1. And that's going to debut tomorrow. So we're so excited here on the Nerd Report that we want to just keep on talking about Halloween and Michael Myers, which is one of the most awesome horror franchises, or if not any franchise, because I mean, we've been talking about these films for 40 years. So it's not like, you know, they're special. You know what I mean? They're classics. They're special. And we already have some people on the chat. What's up, YouTube? Can't wait for the trailer. We've seen a few snippets. We've seen pictures of Michael Myers. We've seen pictures of Laurie. We've seen some footage that look really, really, really good. But right now, what I'm gonna do is I have my Blu-ray in front of me. I didn't even write this down. This is my Blu-ray box set. Okay, see how it looks of the Halloween films. I really didn't even write down my ranking. I'm just gonna do it off the top of my head because I've watched most of these so many times. I think I could pull it off. So this check out the disc right here, right there. That's where I'm gonna go off. We got Robert on the chat as well. Feel free, if you're on the chat, because we're doing this live, to include your ranking of the Halloween films or what you think of the particular one I'm going to be talking about as I go. Before I start, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to this channel. We're going to have some cool stuff coming up, especially exclusive coverage from Comic-Con for our Patreon supporters. The links are down below, and just subscribe anyways. You don't have to be a Patreon to have the fun, but we would appreciate your support. I'm going to start off, though, before I get into my ranking, with our very own Amanda Gonzalez's ranking. Can I even get in here? Let me see. She sent over I told her I was going to do this video, and she's a big horror fan, so she went ahead and she did her worst from best ranking of the Halloween films. And I had it set up here for you, but of course, as soon as we go live, it disappears. But I really respect her opinion when it comes to horror and everything else. So I think she has a pretty good list, and it should be up here any moment now, somewhere. Can't find it now. Give me a second, guys and gals. Here we go. So this is Amanda Gonzalez's worst to best Halloween movies, okay? So she's going to start off with Halloween 2, but the Rob Zombie version. So that's H2. Second comes Rob Zombie's Halloween. So that's the first one. Then Halloween. This is the 6th film, The Curse of Michael Myers. Then Halloween 5 is The Revenge of Michael Myers. Halloween Resurrection after that. Then Halloween 4, and I believe that's the return of Michael Myers. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Halloween H2O. And for number 2, she has part 2, the original part 2. And then John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978. It's a pretty good list, if you ask me. So right now, I'm going to get into my list, okay? So, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I remember as far as the synopsis of the films go. And what's going to be funny, it's going to sound a lot like Amanda's in a way. Okay, so as the absolute worst Halloween movie of all time, it's got to be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I've only seen it once, and I think that's enough. It's the movie's atrocious. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. There's poems in it. Michael Myers is unmasked. There's editing issues. It's Rob Zombie trying to implement shock value and doing a very poor job. I don't know what happened. if he tried or what. But if you look at the film, it's almost, if he was trying to make a bad movie, I don't think anyone could top it. Like if he was doing it on purpose, I respect it. But I actually think he was trying to make a good movie, and it came out like real bad. So that's the Rob Zombie one. The storyline is weird because it doesn't make sense. So Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, absolute worst horror movie probably ever made. And the only good thing about it is that it caused the franchise to just stop making Halloween films, regroup, and now give us the new one with Blumhouse in charge. So maybe that's a good thing. So the second worst Halloween film is Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. This is where the over explanation of why Michael Myers is evil that we didn't need, because according to people who like this movie, Michael Myers needed to be explained because he wasn't explained in the original films, and he actually was. Dr. Loomis called him pure and simple evil, and that's all you need. That was creepy enough. But in this film, it's all about that, he had a stepfather. His stepfather was mean to him. His mom was worked at a strip joint, and boo-hoo-hoo, he was picked on. So that's what caused him to eventually become a 9-foot gargantua killing psycho thing. Not scary at all. Terrible film. Try to imitate the original to a certain extent, but I just don't get it. But whatever, that's why he gets a big bucks. Let me see what's next. Oh, here's a real bad one too. Halloween Resurrection. This is the one where Busta Rhymes does the kung fu moves on Michael Myers and whacks him. The mask is horrible. That's one thing I will say about the Rob Zombie films. The mask is okay. Tyler Mane's mask is okay, but this mask is horrible. This is the one because when this was released, the internet cam, how would I say, live cam thing was very popular. So I think the studio wanted to capitalize on it. So this one, Resurrection, try to make it so it was like a group of kids had to sleep over Michael Myers' house for a night, and it was being videotaped, and it was just garbage. The first 5 minutes were cool. Jamie Lee Curtis is actually in it. I actually like the first 5 minutes, and I believe it's directed by the guy who directed the first film. Okay, let me move on here. Okay, so here we start to get into but let me do this. Okay, the next one, the fourth worst Halloween film, and it's actually not that bad. Let me get it for you right here. Let me get the disc if I can find it. It's not that bad, but it's Halloween 3 for me because it doesn't have Michael Myers. It's not a bad movie, but it shouldn't not have been a Halloween movie in my opinion, because it doesn't have Michael. And when you introduce such an iconic, awesome slasher, why do you want to ignore him in your next movie, right? So it's kind of like a disappointing thing for me. Okay, so here we're gonna get into the real Halloween right now. Let me see. Okay, so I would have to put next. What would be next? Halloween 6. The fifth worst in the series. Halloween 6. Now this is the one where they try to explain why Michael Myers kills, okay? Halloween 6. Right there. The Curse of Michael Myers. They try to explain, and I'll give you a little bit of spoilers about the cult and everything. The movie was weird. There's actually 2 versions of it. There's the director's cut, which they call Halloween 666, the director's cut, which is actually better, has more Dr. Loomis in there. So if you like more Donald Pleasance and Dr. Loomis, that film's good for you. But it was just, 666 is better than the other one. Next up, let me see, how would I rank this? Halloween. Let me see. This is gonna be this is where it gets a little tough. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. Okay, Halloween H2O is next on the worst list. Still, I like the movie. It's cool. LL Cool J does a good job in there. Jamie Lee Curtis is in there, so it is a good movie. Actually, it's very similar to Scream, because Scream was popular when this film was released. So instead of Scream imitating the classic Halloween, the Halloween film tried to imitate Scream. But that's what was big. It was like a Dawson's Creek type of thing with Halloween. But there were some great moments in there with Jamie Lee Curtis. Where I'm at. I hope I don't miss a movie. Right here. There's a lot of Halloween movies now that I think about it. Okay, so here comes some more, alright? I'm gonna do number 5, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This is the one where there's a mysterious dude with boots appears all of a sudden. After Jamie Lee Curtis's or Laurie's niece, played by Danielle Harris when she was a young girl, which she was awesome in these movies. And the big reveal there is where there's a mysterious man with boots and a hat that actually frees Michael Myers in the last part of the film. And then that goes into part 6 where there's a cult, blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of weird because they don't really ever explain it properly. And then here comes, let me see. Okay. Next up. It's a toss-up right here between The Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 4, and Halloween 2. Now, I think I'm just going to keep those as second best A and second best B. Halloween, The Return of Michael Myers, I was so excited for this because it was just awesome seeing Michael Myers come back after so many years. I think it was 10 years after part 2. So that thing I really liked. It was a really good movie. Danielle Harris, again, she was awesome. Seeing Michael Myers, force of nature, going after a little girl, and the little girl keeping her, keeping her own and fighting back against Michael. You really rooted for her in this. But then there's part 2, right? Part 2 is actually the first Halloween movie I've ever seen. Great moments. This one takes place mostly in a hospital with Jamie Lee Curtis, following the events of part 1. And of course, number 1 is the classic 1978 film Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween. It's beautifully filmed. It's like a grindhouse film. It's hard to explain. So good, so mysterious, so awesome. And here we are again, I think 40 years later, waiting for another film to hit the screen in October. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's my ranking of the Halloween films. Let us know what you think are the best Halloween movies, what your ranking is, what's the worst, and why, in the comments below. Also, don't forget to support our Patreon and subscribe to this channel, and maybe we'll have a reaction to the trailer tomorrow. And till then, nerd out.